Casey Corcoran from the Boston Public Health Commission. I'm the director of the Start Strong initiative there, which is the Teen Dating Violence Prevention, Healthy Relationship Promotion Initiative.
And I'm Nathaniel Burr. I'm a peer leader for the Start Strong initiative at the Boston Public Health Commission.
And one interesting fact about the Health Commission is that we are the oldest health commission in the country. Does anybody in here know who the first health commissioner in Boston was? Somebody very, very famous. Any guesses?
Yeah, I think Benjamin Franklin.
Ben Franklin is a good guess. It was Paul Revere. Paul Revere was the first Boston Public Health Commissioner, so we are indeed very old. Who here's been to Boston? And we're at the end of the day. I know folks are tired, so stay with us. We're going to try and be fun, we're going to try and be interactive, and we're going to try and talk about breakups, which of course is fun. Right? All the adults in the room are probably hiding, going, please don't call on me. So we did a breakup. All our work around breakups started last summer when we did a breakup summit in Boston for young people, for middle school, high school, and adults. And we did it because people weren't, at least in Boston, people were not talking about breakups. And not only were they not talking about breakups, they were not talking about healthy breakups, which is why we're here. We're here to be talking about healthy relationships. And we fully and wholeheartedly believe that if we're going to give young people, like the middle school students who are in this room, the high school students who are in this room, if we're going to equip them with a healthy relationship tool belt that they can use in the relationships they engage in, healthy breakups needs to be one of those tools that is on that tool belt. And we have done okay, I can speak from my experience, at least in Boston. We have done a good job at helping young people understand what dating violence is and how to avoid it. We've gotten pretty good at that. We're doing okay at helping them understand what healthy relationships look like, sound like, and feel like. We've yet to do a very good job at helping young people understand what a healthy breakup looks like, sounds like, and feels like.
First, we're going to talk about notorious breakups and breakups that make the news, ones that we've all heard of. So right now, I want you guys to talk with your table partners about breakups that you've heard about in the news, read in the newspaper, or anything like that. Raise your hand if you have some good ones.
Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson.
Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson.
Hold on one second. Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. Young people, when young woman back.
Rihanna and Chris Brown. Sandra Bullock.
Tiger Woods.
Ike and Tina Turner.
Eva Longoria and Tony Parker.
Frank and Jamie McCourt, the owners of the Dodgers.
Oh, the owners of the Dodgers, Frank and Jamie McCourt. I got messages.
Kardashian and Reggie Bush. Okay.
Brad Pitt. And then Ken and Barbie. Ken and Barbie are seeing other people.
Ronnie and Sammy on Jersey Shore last night.
Ronnie and Sammy on Jersey Shore. Who saw that?
Last night.
Okay, raise your hand if you're willing to be brave and admit that you watched Jersey Shore. This is a safe space. Thank you. Put your hands down. So we have no problem in a room full of folks. We could probably list 200 breakups that we've seen, heard about, that are in the news. We could probably list 200 that have happened in the past year. What is the roadblock for us talking about this then? If we all know, if we're talking about celebrity breakups all the time, and we're interested in breakups, there's clearly an interest. We are clearly interested in the drama that often happens with breakups. What is the roadblock for us to incorporating this into our healthy relationship discussions with young people? And what is the roadblock in helping young people have this discussion with other young people? Now, I know for adults, because I am one of those adults, there are some reasons why we may not enjoy talking about breakups and our breakup experiences with young people. What are some of those words that come to mind? Of course, I put up the baggage. Why is it hard for us as adults, in talking to the young people who are sitting here with us, why is it hard for us to talk to them about our breakup experiences? Shameful behavior.
Yeah, that you feel like you're a failure.
You feel like you failed at it.
You're still bitter.
Painful. They're painful. It would be really painful for me to share my breakup experiences. Somebody should call me on that. Any others? Lack of progress or success. So maybe we haven't moved. Maybe we still need to work on ourselves. Any other stuff that has disallowed us from having these sorts of honest conversations with young people we work with or young people in our lives?
Crossing those boundaries.
Yeah, there's some boundaries there.
Maybe us just not knowing the correct way to go about it. So how can we teach somebody if we're, screwing it up ourselves?
Trauma.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of trauma and breakups. So there are a lot of reasons, and we're here to address that and honor that and say breakups are hard and they're hard to talk about, but we should be talking about. And that's one of the commitments that we'd like all of us to come away with. And for the young people, we'd love for you to commit to taking leadership on this, because we have adults haven't done a good enough job. You have an opportunity to really be the leaders in healthy breakups. As leaders, as you've shown you are here today. And of course, I want to qualify, when we talk about healthy breakups, we are not talking about a situation where there is violence or abuse in the relationship. The healthy breakup there may involve the law or professionals. We are talking about the rest of the relationships, from healthy to unhealthy. Abuse is a whole different thing. That's a whole different session. That's not what this is. So I just want to make that clear here. We would never advocate for somebody to use these tools if they are either abusive or in an abusive relationship.
So the few things that we came up with, why we think this is important, why does this deserve space, why are we all here, why are you listening to us talk about breakups today? We think that breakups are inevitable in the lives of most young people, and it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that to them without being fatalistic. It's one of the ways that we as humans practice our relationship skills. We think they're just as important as healthy relationships. A healthy breakup is no different than a healthy relationship. It's somebody practicing those healthy relationship skills. We think that there are very concrete skills that young people or adults can use to try to engage in healthy relationships, healthy breakups. That does not mean that those relationships will be drama-free. It's really important for us to understand the types of relationships that the young people we care about and are working with are engaging in. Because if we are just engaging them around conversations at the girlfriend-boyfriend level, we are missing a solid 80 to 90% of the actual relationships that they're engaging in. So we have to understand the scope of their lives and the scope of their relationships. And if you really want to know what those relationships are and what they entail for Los Angeles, because that's where we are, ask the young people in this room, ask them the relationships that they're engaging in, from informal to formal. You'll learn a lot if you just listen. So we just think it's really important for us to understand the full range of relationships that young people are actually engaging in. And what does the research tell us about breakups? Interestingly, there is a decent amount of research on breakups, more than you would think. One thing we know is that young men take breakups much harder than we assume. Much harder than we assume. Much more. In fact, the research that's out there now shows that it's harder on young men during a breakup than it is on the young women. That may not be what you see, but in evidence-based research, that's what they found. Why do you think it's harder on young men? What do you think this research shows? And we have a guess. Why is it harder on them? No one to turn to, no support system, maleness. Those are exactly the things that came up in this research that came out of Wake Forest last year. Young men, we as men, I'll say that the other men and the young men in the room, we do not do as good a job at cultivating friendships where we can talk about our emotions and the relationships we're in. So we bury it. Even though we're having the same feelings, we bury it down deep. We know that the relationships from research, breakups affect the future relationships of young people. But the best evidence maybe we have is not from the academics teaching us about breakups and what they mean, because it's something we've all had a personal experience from. And we also have these nice flow charts that people have put out, but we also don't need these flow charts, because who experiences a breakup this way? If you're mapping out your breakup, are you saying, yeah, I think we're in the dissatisfaction stage right now. I'd really like to stop us from moving to exposure and negotiation, you know, or how can we get back to exposure? How can we get back to it? That's not the way we experience relationships, that's not the way we experience breakups, and that's, you know, we're not going to talk to people we care about in teens. In teens, you are not going to talk to your friend. You're not going to pull out this handout and go, this is what you're going through right now. And you're in middle school, high school, and I want to help you, and let's talk through this flowchart. No, this is not what we do. When we talk about breakups and what they are, sometimes you are so excited, depending on if you're the person that's breaking up or the person you got broken up with. Some people may have had the experience where you're glad somebody broke up with you because you were going to do it anyway. So you might be jumping for joy. You might be so excited that this relationship is ending. You may have somebody else in mind. You may just want time to be by yourself.
Well, more often than not, most people feel like it's getting in too close with no bikini. So it can be really painful, hurt, sometimes I feel like it's getting the wind knocked out of you and you lost something very important to you, your breath. And then sometimes I feel like the world's gonna end. So you wonder where you're gonna go, who you're gonna turn to. Breakups are more often bad.
Right. Sometimes it feels like the meteor's coming. For me, 5th grade, wasn't even somebody I was dating. 5th grade, Katie Ryan moved away. Oh, I thought it was I was like, how can I go to 6th grade? What do I have to look forward to in school? I wasn't even dating her. But I was like, what do I have to look forward to? Sometimes it feels like it's the absolute, and then I hope to God she never sees this. I don't think I've ever told that to anybody. Sometimes it feels like absolutely the end of the world. And it's okay to admit that these are the range of emotions that we have when we're dealing with breakups. And to talk about them beforehand, if we're talking to our friends, if we're talking to young people, say they can be really, really awful. And, but you can get through them. And we're going to talk about the skills to help people get through them in a healthy way. Because more often than not, we don't do them in a healthy way. So, we talked about some of the types of relationships that young people are in. But we also need to think about how are they actually breaking up. It is very different for the adults in the room. How did you break up back in the day? Letters? Some people text. Back in the when you were in middle school, you were breaking up via text?
We're talking about us.
Back in the day. You might use the phone in the kitchen, maybe you still have cord. You might write a letter. For young people, for the young people in the room, what are some of the ways that you were breaking, that you see your peers, your friends communicating and maybe breaking up? Texting, Facebook, what else? Okay?
Telling your friends.
Through using friends.
How many people have Facebook? Wow. Even some of the adults.
It started at
So this is an example of one way people break up on Facebook over, we can't see the picture, but it was a picture, and this guy David put up a new picture of him and his boo, and his ex, Shaquilla, had to comment on it and get in a relationship with him and Melina. So David laughed at his ex instead of sticking up for his girlfriend. She got mad, and they got in a little argument, and they broke up over a comment on a picture.
The Facebook breakup. Blank is now listed as no longer in a relationship. Has anybody seen this complicated time?
Another popular way is text messaging, which is probably the most popular. Who broke up with somebody over text? Don't be scared. A lot of people are breaking up over text because they're scared to do it in person, scared of the reaction of their partner. So this is a simple conversation about someone telling Jalen that they need more time and that they just don't want to be in a relationship anymore over a text message. Instead of going.
And we work with a group of 2014 peer leaders who came up with all of these. These are their words. These are things that they thought were realistic or that they've done themselves. So it wasn't the adults sitting around thinking these up. And they tell us by far, and Nate has reinforced this, at least I can speak for Boston, this is by far the most common. If they say yes, the text breakup, that is what most people are going for.
And another common one, not as popular as texting, but ignoring. Sometimes people think, oh, if I ignore my partner long enough, they'll eventually get it, or I just don't have to talk to them and hopefully they won't text me anymore. And then never officially end the relationship.
The face-to-face breakup. For the teens in the room, this is where, no, much like the dinosaurs, Triceratops here. Yeah. Well, it's not really Triceratops. From what we are told, from what I am told by the great young people of Boston, the face-to-face is extinct. When I bring up a face-to-face breakup in a middle school classroom that I'm working in, or high school, or peer leaders, people snicker and think it's just funny that I brought it up. Who does that? And one of our peer leaders, Shaquilla, said, who uses a phone to break up with people? And nobody even does that. It's the text message. The face-to-face has gone the way of the dinosaur as far as breakup. And we're going to dig into this one a little more because we think this is really important. Not to give it away, but we think this face-to-face is incredibly important. We're going to explain why. Tools. So we want to talk about what are the actual tools we have to help young people engage in healthy breakups. What are the things that we need? What do we have to work with? And one of the very first things we need is a working definition. If healthy breakups are so foreign to us, then we need to have a definition to understand what one actually looks like, feels like, and sounds like. And this is one that we came up with at the Boston Public Health Commission. That a healthy breakup is the ending of a relationship in which one or both parties find positive ways to cope with their feelings and take active steps to prevent causing unnecessary additional anger, hurt, pain, or to the other person. Why is the one or both highlighted in red? First of all, does anybody have a problem with this definition or anything that sticks out as no, that doesn't feel right? Because this is a living definition. We are constantly looking at this, trying to change it, make it better. Why do you think one or both is in red? We put the one or both up there because when we talk about healthy relationships, we're usually talking about both people in that relationship being healthy. That's what a healthy relationship is. Both people are committed to engaging in a healthy relationship and practicing those healthy relationship skills. In a breakup, you never have control over anybody else. You can never make somebody do something. But in a breakup, what if you're the person that's being broken up with?
You're the person that's doing the breakup. At the end of the day, the person who has to be committed to engaging in a healthy breakup, it's an individual level. We each have to do it ourselves. If I'm breaking up with my girlfriend, I can't control if she's gonna also want to engage in a healthy breakup. I only have control over my own actions. And that's really important when we talk about healthy breakups, as different from healthy relationships. We each have to take responsibility for our own actions in a healthy breakup. And we highlight the additional because we know that breakups are really hard. So you're trying to decrease it and make them a little less difficult. So what are the relationship deal breakers? We think another tool is that if we're going to talk about breakups, you need to know what are those things that if they aren't present in that relationship, whether it be for the middle school students in the room, whether it be for your relationship, whether it be for an adult relationship, what are those things that you must have in your relationship in order for you to want to stay in it? Because if those things aren't there, you want to end it. So what are your dislikes? Now, Facebook doesn't have a dislike button, but what are your dislikes? And what you're going to do is, does everybody have their folder?
Yes.
Do most people have their folders?
Yes.
So in your folder, you have a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about in this tool section. And what we'd like you to pull out is the healthy relationship quiz.
It's blue.
It's blue. This is a healthy relationship quiz that we developed at the commission because we found that most healthy relationship quizzes that were out there had questions on them like, does your partner text you more than you would like? Does your partner tell you what to wear? We found a lot of quizzes that were actually framing healthy relationships as the absence of abuse. And healthy relationships are not just the absence of abuse, but they're the presence of healthy characteristics. And this is a tool we created for young people, but I think it also applies to adults. And what we want you to do now is to take 3 or 4 minutes and just look through it and put a star, highlight, circle, say those 3 things. They may and hopefully are all important to you, but circle those things to you that are like that are the red flags for you. That if these healthy relationship characteristics are not there for you, this is not a relationship that you want to be on. What are those flags that if they pop up, you go, you know what? I don't think this relationship is for me, and I need to think about how to get out of it in a healthy way. Take 3 or 4 minutes. Read through it, and if you want to look at the scoring, it's also on the back of the sheet. So you don't have to take the quiz, but just so you know, it's on the back.
And
Start.
it's on the CD.
What's that?
I put it on the
And
CD.
it's on your CD. Take 3 or 4 minutes. Who wants to share one of the ones that came up for you that you circled, you highlighted, and you marked off as something that absolutely needs to be present in a relationship for you? And I want to make sure we get some of the young people in the room to share what they checked off as well.
Being treated as an equal.
Treated as an equal? Who else?
One that was kind of missing for me was taking time to sit down with your partner and see how your day's been going and what's been going on with your life and staying in touch with each other. Why?
Somebody else, what did you circle, what did you highlight, what did you mark off?
Trust and honesty.
Trust and honesty. What else?
Communicates respectfully and privately. It's the last one.
Communicating respectfully and publicly.
What does that one mean to you, the communicating respectfully both publicly and privately?
Not raising your voice in public and having a very calm communicating.
So she said not raising your voice in public, being calm. And we put that one up there also for the
Publicly also is online, because that's very, very public. So respectful communication. If somebody's respectful of you in person, and this is what we talk about when we do trainings around this, if somebody's respectful of you in person, but is writing awful things about you online, well, we would hope that you would want both to be respected privately and publicly. So we think this is an important tool in a discussion about healthy relationships and healthy breakups. Know what your non-negotiables are. And hopefully, most of these are non-negotiables for you. But know those things that are really important for you. And young people, even if you're in middle school or high school, you deserve these things as well. These may sound like adult things, but you also deserve to be treated with respect publicly and privately. You deserve to trust people and have people that trust you. So many people should respect your time. You want to be alone. These things work for anybody that's in a relationship. For the adults in the room, we have, it's also in your folder, we have a sheet that is, we call it Breaking Up is Hard to Do, 10 tips for supporting your team. This is a checklist to help you think through how well you're doing in supporting your young people in your lives in healthy relationships and healthy breakups. And we have, what you do is you go through the tool and you put a check in the things that you feel like you're doing really well. You put a plus if it's something you're doing okay, you're going to do in the future, and you put the X if it's something you either can't do or you aren't currently doing. So it's a little bit of a self-assessment to help you think through how you're doing around these, working with you, talking to people you care about breakups. Another tool that you have in there is we call our which apps will you choose. So this is a way to think about technology and how we're using technology and how technology can support us in engaging in healthy breakups. Are you filling your calendar with things that you like to do? Are you listening to music that helps you maybe get over the breakup or that expresses your feelings about the breakup? Are you deleting photos of your ex or inappropriate photos so that you don't have that urge to forward them on in a moment when you might be feeling really, really hurt? Just a simple way to think through technology and the applications and how we're thinking about using them and how we use them. And we often think that technology will save us. Technology is the answer. We can do things faster. We can be more efficient. We can multitask, which we heard about this morning. We would put out there that with breakups, technology isn't going to save us. Breakups are very, very low tech. If we want to be healthy in breakups, they're very, very low tech if we want to do them in a healthy way. So technology is not the answer to a healthy breakup. Which brings us to our tool that we're really going to focus on for a minute. This is our Your Breaking Up tool. And what this is a tool that uses the common cell phone bars for reception to think about how are you getting your message across? How effectively are you getting your message across? For one of the young people in the room, what does 5 bars on a phone mean? Full signal. Good reception, full signal. And the young lady in the back, what does it mean when you have 1 or no bars on your phone? No signal, right? The phone is not working. So this tool is in your folder. We think that we're putting out there that if you really want to be heard, if your goal is to really end the relationship, face-to-face is going to give you the best chance of actually being heard. Doesn't mean the person's going to like it. Doesn't mean it's going to be a message they want to hear. But you have the best chance of them actually hearing it. Because you can do tone of voice, you can do body language, you can do it in private. The phone. What are the limitations to a phone as a communication tool? You can't see the person, you lose the body language. Yep. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. Somebody can hang up. What about if you're driving? You can get a ticket. You can lose reception while you're driving, right? You're distracted. Email. What's the challenge with email?
They never got it.
What's the challenge with email?
Oh, you can't really show your face, unless you video chat, but most people don't really video chat anymore. But once you have to put like a little emoticon to show your emotion.
Yeah, so a video chat, sometimes it can be really good, but it also could be limiting if you're using, you might, what if the emotion you're feeling is not on those emoticons?
Yeah.
Right? It's a great point. You could lose the internet connection. What if somebody could not open an email? They could decide not to read it.
It can be used against you in the future. They can publish it. They can put it on Facebook.
Put it up on Facebook. So email is really challenging. What about texting? So take it to the next level. So email is one thing, but texting, why do people put texting lower?
Because like texting, you text someone like you like in the moment, so it's almost like
He said when you text someone, you're in a moment, so you can keep on going, like, and on about it.
What's another challenge with texting?
someone can have their phone and act like that.
He said someone can have their phone and act like they're you, and the other person receiving the text.
You get one of our Face It, Don't Facebook It ones for that. That is that is one that we hadn't thought about, and we are going to definitely add that. That's fantastic. Somebody else could, what he said was somebody else could have your phone. You don't actually know that that's the person you're talking to. That is absolutely fantastic. There's a time lag. It's not necessarily in the moment.
We all interpret it differently, so we don't necessarily type as we, well, I type as I speak, but you know what I mean? Everybody else can read it differently, so.
And social networking. What's the problem with social networking for anything but for a breakup? What's the problem with social networking? And by that we mean things like Facebook, MySpace, all that.
Write something, the message will go to the whole world.
Right, the message goes to everybody. You could go to thousands of people. All right, you can plug for that. You said, all right. The truth is I have buttons for lots of people. We have another person. What's the problem with social networks? Good for my exercise.
Someone can spread rumors about you that aren't true.
Absolutely. People can put up whatever they want. You don't have control over that, and they can put it up on their own page and put your name on it. Over here. Your account could get hacked. So if you're actually somebody who is committed to being a person who wants to engage in healthy breakups, that is not a very effective strategy. So, do we have any brave souls that would be willing to read something for us? Brave souls. Oh, we need some. I'll give you my mic. So, what we have here are statements. These are statements that you might hear or see on a text. So these are our brave souls. So first person, what does yours say?
OMG, you're crazy.
Oh my God, thank you. OMG, you're crazy.
So what way were you reading it? What was yours?
Shock.
And what was yours?
Serious.
Serious. OMG, you're crazy. 3 ways, there are probably 20 ways that you could say that on a text message.
All right, we're here.
Play it up, ham it up, folks that are reading these.
Tired of this.
I said, I am tired of this. One more time.
I am tired of this.
I'm tired of this.
I'm tired of this.
What was your tone?
I am tired of this.
Angry. Sad. Sleepy.
Give them a round of applause. So, sad, sleepy, you can say that in a lot of different ways. We have one more set.
I think I like you. I think I like you.
Say that one again.
I think I like you. So confused home.
Come on, there you go.
I think I like you. Reluctant.
Reluctant. What were the other 2?
Confused home.
Dreamy.
Dreamy.
Dreamy. I think I like you said in 3 different ways. Who's the person that talked to, who raised their hand and said that emails and texts are flat, they don't? Let's give him a round of applause. Edwin? So Edwin is right on. When you use a text message or an email or even something on Facebook, you do not have the opportunity to use your tone of voice. You can say, oh my God, I think you're crazy, in 20 different ways. It doesn't give enough information. Face-to-face gives you some more information.
I think that's why some of us use smiley faces.
Say that louder.
I think that's why some of us use smiley faces.
And LOL.
Yeah.
So smiley faces, LOL.
That's amazing.
So there are ways of doing it, but not everybody might not be using the smiley faces or LOL. But that is a great point. There are ways you can add some inflection and some tone to it to better understand it. But generally, text messages and emails, not the best way to communicate a message, especially around a breakup. So, our goal in our work at the Boston Public Health Commission around breakups, we want to bring the dinosaurs back. Everybody should be equipped. We want to bring the dinosaurs back. We want to bring back face-to-face communication. We want to support young people and support each other in having face-to-face communication if you are having a problem in a relationship. Because we think that is the best strategy for being heard, and it's the best way for you to be able to listen. It is the most low-tech of strategies, but it is by far the most effective.
Okay, so doctors usually say take 2 pills and if you're feeling better. If you're not feeling better, then call me, come back. But at the Boston Public Health Commission, we came up with the Take 3 strategy.
So the Take 3 strategy for healthy breakups.
First is take a technology timeout. So whatever it is, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, just take a break from it. It doesn't have to be like a whole month or 2 years. It could be like for a couple days. Just take a break so you're not tempted to write something nasty about your partner on Facebook. You're not tempted to tweet something disrespectful about the person you just broke up. Take care of yourself. It shouldn't be medicine, but it should be something.
The idea is, what is good medicine for you?
It should be something that makes you feel better. It could be exercise, playing basketball, playing sports, going to the movies, hanging out with friends. Just something to just get your head right.
What is good medicine for you?
And take responsibility for your own actions. And so this one is a little harder because some people, before breakup, during, and after, they think it's always the other person's fault and only that person's fault. So take responsibility for your actions. If you did something, or if you cheated, or even if you cheated to make the relationship end on purpose, just take responsibility for what you did, apologize, because I'm sure it wasn't that one person's fault, like usually it's mutual.
And it's really important to do it before, during, and after. So we should be having conversations about healthy breakups before people are even in relationships, so that those skills are on their healthy relationship tool belt. And then during, and then after. So once the relationship is ended, make a commitment not to write nasty things about that person. Because if your goal is actually to end the relationship, what does writing nasty things on their Facebook wall do, or your Facebook wall? Takes them off, makes it worse, and it brings them back in, right? You're then engaging with them again. So we say, we want to work with people to engage in healthy breakups. If you're sitting here going, no, you know what, I like the drama, I don't want to be a person that engages in healthy breakups. Ignore this. Ignore all this. But if you think that it's important to engage in healthy breakups, these are important things to think about before, during, and after the relationship. So the final thing we're going to do, and thanks for hanging in with us, is that in your packet you have a sheet that says the Take 3 strategy. And what we want you to do is take about 4 minutes and for yourself, work through the Take 3 strategy. If you were breaking up with somebody or you thought you might be, what would you take a technology time out from? What are you using? What would you need to take a technology time out from? As Nate said, we're not talking a month. Could be a day, could be a week. What are the things, what are the ways that you would take care of yourself? And how would you take responsibility for your own actions before, during, and after that breakup? So this is for you individually. What are the commitments that you would make if you were ending a relationship? Cell phone, what else? Email, text message. Checking Facebook statuses.
Just internet altogether.
Wholesale, yep. Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and texting. Awesome. Yep. Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and YouTube.
Your ex-partner's page.
Ah, your ex-partner's page. Who agrees with that? FML? What's FML?
It's a site where people talk about things and they put FML after. Things that are going bad in your life.
Ah. Got it. See, I learned something now. What about taking care of yourself? What are things that you enjoy that you could do? Play sports. What else? Trip. Reading, go on a trip. Talk to your friends. What are the commitments that you could make up? How could you take responsibility before, during, and after? What are the ways that you would take responsibility for your actions? Accepting the breakup. What else? Other ways that you can take responsibility. Not re-engaging, letting them take responsibility.
admitting to your wrongdoing.
Admitting to your wrongdoing. We still have a lot of work as the Boston Public Health Commission to do around healthy breakups. We just started this work this past summer. Thank you for engaging in this process with us. We come away with a lot of great ideas and thoughts, things that we're going to incorporate right away. But really, we have as much to learn as we do to share. But we do think there are a couple key takeaways for healthy breakups. One is that we need to think about them before they happen. And that's part of what we're doing here today, hopefully. We have to bring it out into the open. We have to talk about it. We have to be truthful about breakups and how hard they can be, but how you can also get over them and do them in a positive way. We need to think about the strategies that we're using and the technology that we're using. That's why we have our Face It, Don't Facebook It pins as a not so subtle reminder that doing face-to-face is probably going to be your most effective strategy for being heard and for listening. And then lastly, the take 3. Something to think about. Strategies to think about beforehand. Because we need to be talking about this before a bad breakup happens.